Right, so let's talk about captions now. So we have keyworded our images, now we have to caption and title them. Now captions, also called descriptions, are short descriptive texts that put in words exactly what's in the image. And like keywords, captions are compulsory. They are very, very important and are not only there for the client to have a brief description of the image before they open it in full screen, say, but it's also used by some search engines to find your images. Of course, keywords are still the main thing when it comes to SEO or search engine optimization, but captions come second. Caption requirements change between commercial and editorial images. So for editorial images, it's very, very important that you state where and when the image was taken, as time and place are part of the story, really. In commercial images, on the other hand, time and place are not really relevant, as we are creating a story and not reporting on it. Now, two of the best selling image banks, Shutterstock and iStockPhoto, have different requirements for their editorial captions, but both require basically that it contains the same basic information, so namely the 4 W's as they call it. So when, where, who, and what. So Shutterstock's editorial format follows this format. City, all in bold, city, comma, state or country, hyphen, month, day, year, and then colon, and editorial caption explaining who is doing what. And remember, the black capitals that you're seeing here are to be respected. They're not just here for emphasis. And here's iStockPhoto's editorial format. So city, comma, country, hyphen, month, day, comma, year, colon, editorial caption explaining who is doing what. Now, all other agencies will accept Shutterstock's or iStockPhoto's captions, but Shutterstock and iStockPhoto will reject any editorial images submitted with captions that don't conform with their own, which you've just seen. So important to choose one or the other, and if you're submitting to both websites, create separate captions for each of them. On a separate note, be sure to keep your camera's date and time always up to date, as inspectors will check to see if your caption matches the date that your images were captured. If they don't match, your image will be rejected on those basis and sent back to you for revision. It's very easy to forget when you travel, for example, like time zones, so make sure that your camera is set correctly. Captions also have a limit, which will vary from one agency to another, but if you keep it under 200 characters, you will be fine. You'll be surprised how little fits into 200 characters anyway, especially if your images relate to a city or a country with a very long name. So keep it clear, short, and straight to the point. But having said that, also make sure that your caption is as descriptive as it can be. So don't make it really too short. I'm going to show you how to do this in a moment. But before we caption the images we have already edited and keyworded, let's talk about titles. So arguably, titles are the least important item in your editing stage. Some agencies will not even require them. Having said that, yet, it's important that you title your images before you export and upload them, because failure to do so will cost you vast amounts of time just doing it for each single image at each individual agency if you have already uploaded your images. So make sure you title your images in Capture One or Lightroom before you export them. So let's very quickly title our images, and then we can concentrate more on captioning them. Okay, so let's title quickly these images and then go into captioning. So I'm back here in Capture One, as you can see. I have all my keywords and all my images here. I have actually checked the spelling for the keywords already, so everything is fine. There was nothing misspelled, as far as I could tell anyway, as far as Word could tell. And now that I mentioned that the titling is the simplest and maybe not required, so let's start with that because it's just really simple. And all of these images here, so I'm selecting all of them. In Capture One, that's called headline. So I'm just going to go ahead and enter headline, and this really can be man wearing winter coat. That's as simple as it gets, really. So that's that's my title rather. And that's going to be enough for all agencies, really. So I like having a bit of description going on, so it doesn't need to be precise, but just rather than saying, well, model 1, just kind of make it easier on yourself, really, if you need to come back to this. So the other thing is that there is one website that I submit to feature pictures, and it extracts the title not from the headline field, but from the title field, which is under IPTC here. So I'm going to copy that title and just paste it here so that now I have basically everything done. So that's us doing titles. There's nothing else we need to do. Now, these images here are commercial, so I don't have to worry about the editorial formatting. We're going to do that with other images later. And this is commercial, so I'm creating a story here, and I just need to basically describe in words what's happening in the image. So for these images here, I can select them all again because they're very similar, and then afterwards I can adapt the captions that I used or the description that I used to against black, white, or black background or white backgrounds. I can do that later. But let's just kind of create a very generic caption for this, and let's make it as descriptive as possible. So I want to do this, so maybe let's start with the most generic thing. So the where it's taken. So it's a studio shot. Then I have high key or low key. In fact, I can just kind of start making this more descriptive. So let's start with the white ones. High key, studio, not shot, but maybe portrait of young Caucasian model, or young adult rather, Caucasian model wearing winter coat with hood. So that's my base, like, my base description, and then I can just kind of select individual images and work on that. So just hit enter here, not enter tab, and that's my caption. The other thing is that Capture One actually doesn't share, even though I have all, I'll apply to all images here. It doesn't actually, if I have the first image selected, that's where my title and captions are, a title and description here. But if I go to the second image, I don't have that anymore. So now I just have to make sure that I apply those items. So country, emails, etc. Contact information that I entered before. Then headline, description, and title. Copyright notice, yeah, it's fine. It's not going to be there for the image banks anyway. So I'm going to apply that to all images that I have selected. Cool. So now if I go to the second image, I'll see that all of them now have the same title, description, and the headline. Okay, so let's go ahead and start working on that. So now I'll select only the white background images in which the model actually has the hood on. And let's see what we can change in that. So high keys to the portrait of young adult Caucasian model wearing intercoat with hood on. And now, can I say something about the expression? Yes, I can. So let's change that to starting into camera here. Cool. So those three, staring into camera. By the way, forgot again. So edit, check spelling while typing. Okay, there you go. Maybe let's make this larger so I can see all the words. Cool, so this seems to be all right. And then I can say afterwards, isolated on white. There you go. So that's my caption for those three images. I can also select the remaining images here. In fact, just check. Okay, so select the remaining images, as I said, with the white background, but not the ones that I have already selected. So just remove that because these are ready. Okay, so there's a young winter coat on, but then I don't have the coat on for these ones. Looking sideways. Then I say isolated on white again. There you go. Just a nice, easy description. These ones. Wearing hooded, winter jacket or winter coat. In this case, he's not with a coat on. Yeah. Running fingers through his hair. Again, if I want to check how many words, if you have a Windows system that's going to give you, I actually have installed a character counter because Mac doesn't give you this automatically. So 116 is below 200, so I'm happy with that. Very straightforward, very, going to the point. Now, the gray image here is not high key. It's just a studio portrait of young adult Caucasian model wearing winter coat with hood on. Then the second sentence, isolated on gray. You can even put background just to get some more characters count there. And finally I have the black ones here, the dark low key. So now it's a low key studio portrait of young adult Caucasian model wearing winter coat with hood on. All of them are like that. And then I can just develop on that, with the looks. And in fact, I can say, wow, suspicious. Maybe of suspicious young adult Caucasian model wearing blah blah blah. Cool. So I'm happy with that. And oh, sorry, I forgot the isolated on black. In fact, let's see what happened here. Remember what I said about Capture One not spreading the caption, the description to all images. So there you go. So it didn't actually get that. So low key. Let's just apply it to all. I really don't know why Capture One does that, but So now I need to do the suspicious again. Okay, so now we have all the images ready, really. So I'm going to export them now because I have all the keywords done. I have the captions, titles, everything is pretty much done. I need to sort out those kind of corners still in the images in which I can see the blackouts, the polyboards. But I can do that in Photoshop after exporting because, as I said, it's just a block color. It's not detailed there, so it doesn't matter if it loses some resolution on the on the black or white. It's not a big issue at all. Now, what I'll do is select all of these images and I have them all here. Capture One is giving me the dimensions here, which is nice. And I don't want to enlarge any of them, but I don't want to, I have some presets that I use here. I have one image bank that's 100%. So that's what I'll do. I won't rename the files at all. I'll just use the same image name as before. Output location. So remember the Capture One creates sessions and it creates already a select and an outputs folder. So now I'm going to just output to that folder there. It's just really organized. Resolution 300 dpi or pixels per inch. Make sure you have 300 there because some websites will not accept a lower resolution than that. It's the resolution for printing really. Also, that's going to kind of expand the possibilities of sale there for you. So instead of only selling online, you can clients might be able to download your image to print them as well. So the extended license, remember, that would fall into that category. So keep a resolution at the highest, so not highest but 300 dpi, and you have more sales. Scale, I'll just have it fixed to 100%, which is going to basically mean that wherever I cropped it, nothing's going to be enlarged or reduced there. So, and then Capture One also tells me how many megapixels that's going to have, or megabytes. So let's go ahead and export that. process. Capture is going to give me basically just it's going to tell me that's exporting this, and once it's done, so it's just telling me how much longer. So 2.5 minutes, and I'll have all my images ready for uploading. So I'm going to be explaining in the following segments of the course how to export your images. So we can do that straight on each website, or we can use some tools that make our lives a lot easier. So I'll be showing you both situations. So you can upload straight on the website, or we use one of those tools, and then what you do afterwards. So we're almost at the end of the uploading process. But I will also discuss your initial submission. We're going to go into Shutterstock and see what the requirements are and so on. So hang on for now. I'm just showing you how this would work. And for your first submission, this applies as well. So you're still looking for things that are likely to damage your image, and you want to isolate those things. So I'll just kind of keep on discussing those things with you in the following segments.